Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop, where I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. I have the homie again with me. Fourth week in a row we have been rolling. This is the big homie Ronald, the Iceman Coley. You can follow him on Twitter at Mirage5. Dude tweets a lot of NFL good stuff, man. Yo, the Iceman, what's going on, big homie? How you rocking, man?
Oh man, I'm pretty good. Just waiting for this week 4. I did a lot of research and looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Well, yo, you know how we doing it. You know, it can only play out one way to the success of the Sweatshop, because anything you do from your heart, man, people are going to be helped. And speaking of that, you know, it's come to my attention, man. This has been a year. It's been a year, man, for me in the Sweatshop. It's the anniversary, man. I've been doing this for a year. And this all started because I was a guy who was tired of losing, thought I found the hole in the zone, you know what I'm saying? And I thought I'd share it with as many people that want to listen to me. Started out as 10 people, did it to 100 people, and now there's thousands of us. We are strong, we are many, and that's pretty dope, man. So shout out to all of you all for rocking with me, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. So we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a really interesting NFL slate. The first thing I like to do whenever we chop these up is to kind of, talk about what I think the slate is going to be. Because I think if you build your lineups and it's kind of like a story, it tells a story of what you think the slate is going to be, and you get it right, you win the money. And for me, I think it's a pay down quarterback week. I think it's the wide receivers that hadn't been doing well get right this week. I think the defenses that we know to be great defenses are going to shine and be good defenses this week. I think this is where, where the chalk, or so to speak, should play well. The guys who normally you think are going to play well should play well. And the bad chalk, the strange chalk, is strange chalk for a reason. That's my overall look of the slate. What do you think about that, Ice?
Yeah, definitely this week kind of paying down on quarterback. I can definitely see that, and some of my top plays are being paid down from the quarterback position. Probably, I mean, as I look at it, wide receiver not, but quarterback definitely. A little bit of running back, and obviously tight end is always a toss-up. So, but I can definitely see that, man. And hopefully some of this chalk, like Julio Jones, actually hits pay dirt finally. You know, he's been due. So let's see.
Yo, Julio's a library book, bro.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because last week I had small amount of shares of Tom Brady. You look at him coming in at 8K, being the highest salaried guy at the quarterback position, man. And do you want to get up and pay for that? Like, is this a spot where if you faded him for the last couple of weeks and it's been killing you, and you jump on him now and he goes out and has a pedestrian game, like, do you want to take that chance? I think that's kind of what I would be in for at this point. So while I do think he's Tom Brady, he does have the propensity to go out and throw a ton of touchdowns. Is it likely against a team like the Carolina Panthers who he's facing? So he's going to have to do that. You know what I mean? So
right.
Let's go ahead, man. Jump right into it. Of course, we're going to be rocking on RotoQL, man. Very solid site. Love to use them for my research. I'm going to default this to the season average projections because that is their paid content, the Pro Football Focus. I am not only a hair club president, I'm a member. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love RotoQL. I love what they do, man. Very solid site. They should be paying me for this, but they're not. So jump right into it. First game you got on the slate, and this is moving past that early game, that 9:30 game. This is moving right along. Buffalo at the Atlanta Falcons. We've got a 48.5 point total here. The Falcons are again at home, which I think is going to turn out to be a thing this season. The Falcons at home, I think that's going to turn out to be a thing. You've got them. You got Matt Ryan, 7.4. Tyrod Taylor, who I've heard a lot of grumbling about this week. You've also got LaShawn McCoy. A lot of good plays in this game, I would think. Iceman, what's your take on this game? What are you looking at going forward?
Well, when I looked at this game, first of all, it has a The total is what is it? Yeah, it's 48.5. So I look at this game and I really am kind of struggling to see it hit that. Buffalo has been good defensively. A lot of people say, oh, they didn't take on anyone, but that's still a solid group of guys there. And when I look at this game, Buffalo's defense is limited game totals to 33, 12, and 42. Bad defenses. They don't normally do that. So, I'm looking at this game. I think it'll be run heavy a bit. I can see Freeman getting loose for a touchdown or two, and I actually see Julio Jones even getting a touchdown here. Both these defenses aren't bad. So I'm looking at definitely. I can see Taylor. I think McCoy is going to be heavily involved. Obviously out of the backfield, catching passes, running the ball, and I think he has a plus matchup here. And on the other side, you got Matt Ryan, Freeman, and Jones. And I really think Freeman is going to be a good play here as well. But I just think the running backs are going to be heavily involved in this game. And like I said, both defenses are kind of like, they're decent. And obviously Buffalo has been performing well. So I just really see this as a running back kind of game. And I think, Julio will probably get some play action passes, hopefully take one to the house finally. So that's what I'm looking at in this game.
Now, a few things stand out to me, and I'm going to kind of echo the sentiment that you shared with us. You take a look at targeting, man, targeting targeting the running backs in this game, and you look at the Buffalo Bills and LaShawn McCoy leading the team in targets, 20 targets. I'm talking 18 completions, a 90% completion percentage. Hasn't caught a touchdown yet. Hasn't had one for a touchdown yet. He's getting 25% of the target share, and I think you look at all of the other running backs on the slate and how we've seen a pedestrian game, the last game out for LaShawn McCoy, and people are not going to want to be on him. He is one of my favorite running back plays on this entire slate. I absolutely love him in this spot. And if the Buffalo Bills are going to do anything, he's going to have to do well. And you look at, let's say that Atlanta jumps out on him. Let's say Atlanta jumps out on him. Well, he's part of the passing attack as well. So this is a guy that's multifaceted, can do it on the ground, can do it through the air. LaShawn McCoy is one of my favorite running back plays on the slate, and I think it would be a travesty if you went out at a whole slate and you faded him completely. Now we're going to take a look at the Atlanta and them targeting the running backs out of the backfield. Devontae Freeman, only 7 targets but 7 completions. You look at Tevin Coleman, he's got 12 targets, 9 completions. So we can see the running backs as a whole get loose in the spot, just as you talked about. But one thing, man, you look at Julio Jones, bro, 26 targets, no touchdowns yet. 26 targets, no touchdowns. This has got to be the week where Julio gets in the end zone. And luckily for us, he's priced under 9K. So he has a decent amount of receptions and yards, gets in the end zone. We can see a quality return. And I'm sure people are down on him and what he's been doing recently. I'm sure they are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And there's more about this game. There really is, man. You look at Matt Ryan, one of my favorite quarterbacks on the slate. Love him in this spot. I think a lot of folks are going to be drawn to Mohamed Sanu based off what he did last week, scoring a touchdown. I've heard people even talk about Jordan Matthews here at 3.9. And what do you think about Tyrod Taylor? Would you play him? What's your thoughts on Tyrod Taylor specifically?
Well, he doesn't. For me, he doesn't kind of fit the whole box, the line of questioning I have for all the quarterbacks. I can see him still doing well, though. Atlanta, like I said, is no slouch. However, they you can exploit them. Say if they get down, they're going to play the prevent defense, and then he can sneak in some garbage touchdowns. And that's all we're looking for is points. So I think definitely Atlanta's going to win the game, no doubt about that. But I think, like you said, McCoy. Really having a big game, if they're going to be in this, is definitely going to be key, and I can really see that. And like I said, I have him down as one of my top plays.
Certainly, and also to throw it out, I do like Charles Clay as well. We look at the Atlanta Falcons, man, one of the worst teams in the league in terms of guarding the tight end. So I definitely think that I can rock with them. Next game we got is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are at home here in a 42-point total. We've got Big Ben, man, priced all the way down. Will, when was the last time you saw Big Ben priced all the way down to 6K? Is it a thing? Is this dude not great on the road? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger. Obviously, those home road splits are really kind of playing out so far this year. But I mean, look, this Pittsburgh team is just sooner or later they're going to start clicking. I don't know if they're going to click this week. I think this might be a low scoring game here. So I mean, like I said, you haven't seen Pittsburgh click yet. The Ravens offense is awful. The Steelers on the road. I mean, I'm seeing this as a Bell game. Finally, we seen a little bit previous week against the Bears, him finally get a touchdown. But I really see Bell doing well here. I mean, you look at Baltimore. I mean, they're not. They have good. They're playing at home, obviously. But I mean, you look at what they give up to the running backs. I mean, they're kind of middle of the road, and then against the tight end, you got a plus matchup for Jesse James. So, I could see Baltimore somewhat limiting Ben Roethlisberger. Like I said, he's on the road, so that's a negative. So I definitely would not play him. But obviously, Antonio Brown, he's going to catch some passes. At least he's going to get at least 10 to 12 targets and probably catch at least 9 of them. So, and I can see him going for a touchdown. But overall, Ben, and I heard something that they were saying that they think. I think it was one of the Pittsburgh Steelers announcers saying that they think the whole home road thing is only because of the crowd noise. I guess Ben, they're saying they don't think he can handle the crowd noise as well. And I'm like, man, this is going on some years. I mean,
it's 13 years in the league, bro. You're not used to that yet,
right? Yeah. So I mean, obviously it's a thing because that's what the stats say. But I'm definitely looking for Bell to do well in this game. I mean, obviously Baltimore is at home, so. I mean, they're going to play well defensively, especially coming off that shellacking in London. Man, that was bad.
Yes.
So, I mean, you got to figure they're going to try to come back with something. And I mean, as far as Buck Allen goes, he's got a plus matchup. You saw the Bears run all over Pittsburgh last week, and I think you can see something similar here. I mean, Baltimore. I mean, they have a decent offensive line. Flacco is always a question mark. I would never roster him, but as far as at Buck Allen, if you want to get him cheap, go right ahead. And I don't think Benjamin Watson is playing this game, but they might have a few more injuries. But I mean, overall, Buck Allen from Baltimore. I don't know if I really would trust anybody else outside of Buck Allen on Baltimore, but yeah, I'd be all over Bell and Antonio Brown and maybe even Jesse James.
Now Allen has become a thing. I think a lot of folks are talking about. Getting him involved only at 4.7K as an RB2, or even like you stated, I like guys like Jesse James. I think that Le'Veon Bell is also in play. Even at 8.7, I can't say I'm going to have a ton of shares of him, but I don't think this is a week where I'm so like stuck on fading Le'Veon. Like it's not like that. Like how recently it's been where I haven't been playing him just because even when Pittsburgh is in good matchups, there's just so many mouths to feed that last week a lot of motherfuckers lost because they ate all the bad chalk, and I'm not gonna bite, man. I'm not gonna bite. I'm good on that one. Next game we got is gonna be the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. This is surprisingly, bro. This is a 41.5 point total, and you've got the Cleveland Browns at the crib, only a 3-point dog in this spot. Now, I think that we've seen Cincinnati kind of right the ship some. With the addition or the subtraction of the bad OC, and now they have the new offensive coordinator. Like he's been giving the ball directly to the cats that deserve it. Guys like AJ Green, we've seen Joe Mixon get in the mix. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Even Andy Dalton has looked better, and for me, he's one of my top 6 quarterbacks on the slate. So what do you think about? And then of course you look at the fact that you can just stream offenses against Cleveland. I mean, that's still a play, So I like some Cincinnati guys. I don't know if I'm going to be, stacking the shit out of all of them, but I like a couple of them. I like a few of them. And then you look on the Cleveland side, I don't really love a lot of those guys there. Isaiah Crowell kind of let me down last week. What do you think about Cincinnati as a defense? Cincinnati, I like the defense and everything. This is a good spot for the Bengals here for me.
Well, they're going to get Burfict back this game, so that is going to be a little bit of a boost. And they're going against the rookie Kaiser. I know I've been known for my Kaiser hate But I mean, the guy's a rookie. He's gonna grow. I can definitely see some upside there with him. But in this game, I'm thinking the Bengals should really do well. I agree with your call on Dalton. He hasn't looked good, but I tell you what, he started to look better last week against Green Bay in that first half. And then Tony Romo called him out saying, as far as Green Bay, like, okay, Green Bay is seeing most of their offensive plays. Now they're just going to shut them down.
I remember that. He was like, yo,
yeah.
they have a 20-game script, and they're done with that. So now they're not going to score anymore. And they didn't. Yo, Tony Romo is good, bro.
He is.
He's like, yo, if him and fucking and Chucky ever call a game together, him and Gruden, you will learn. Your head will explode, bro. They be like, they're going to run through the A gap. To the left, and they do it. Like Romo is awesome at calling the games, bro. But you said you like some Cincinnati guys. What do you think about the defense against Cleveland?
Yeah, I think they're one of my plays that I would pick as far as the defense. Like I said, I think obviously you look at the numbers. The Browns just let it go almost at every position. Especially at the quarterback and tight end, you can really rack up stats against them. So. I'm definitely looking for. I would definitely pick Dalton. He's one of my top quarterbacks too. He hasn't thrown for more than 3 touchdowns in 2 years, but hey, this is the perfect spot for him. Cleveland's defense. Let you do whatever you want. So, like I said, I'm really thinking that Dalton, Green, and even I know a lot of people saying Mixon may not do that well, but I see this as a game where he possibly could do well. And I'm really looking at him as well. So, like I said, Burfict is back for defense, and obviously Kaiser, he's been turning over the ball a lot. I think this defense will really pounce on that. So I'm looking for a pick 6 from him. So I'm looking. Yeah, I would definitely do a Cincinnati stack, to be honest with you.
You heard it here, y'all. Cincinnati defense, Cincinnati stack. We like Cincinnati in the spot against the Cleveland Browns, even though they're at home. And Deshaun Kaiser, one of those guys that I think, you can play him naked if you want to. You're gonna get some run on the ground. You're gonna get some of that. You may get a little touchdown. You might get a rushing touchdown at 5.2. That was much sexier at 4.8, but at 5.2, with cats like Deshaun Watson, who's going to be the overwhelming. I wouldn't want to go to Deshaun Kaiser in this spot. So not a guy that I like, not a team that I like. Just like the Iceman said, man, give me some Cincinnati on the side. Yo, we are 3 for 3, man. We've been agreeing, bro. We got to mix this shit up, man. Next game
I know.
we normally don't do this. He started to get Dak outside of the pocket, and he was able to bootleg and throw the ball down the field. What do you think about his ability in the passing game against this Rams defense?
You know what? Once again, this is one of my top plays. Dak Prescott here. I really think the Cowboys are going to run really all over this team. Sure, the defense of the Rams front is pretty good. But the bottom line is they've been having a tough time stopping running backs. And Elliott, I think, is one of my top plays as well. He's going to run all over him, I think. So I really think you're looking here at a the Cowboys just kind of trying to control this game. I don't know if they will quite control it as well, but I really can see, even on the other side, you look at it, Gurley has a good matchup. Can Goff do anything against this Dallas defense at home? It's certainly possible. Right. So, yeah, there's some good plays here. If you look at just the matchups here, the Rams have plus matchups at quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. So, like I said, I really think, they're going to Dallas is going to try to control this game. They're at home, so they're going to try. Obviously, you get the home boost. So, I think Prescott. We saw what the Rams let up last Thursday, and Prescott is certainly capable. He's in a good spot as well. So that's what I'm looking at. As far as Bryant goes. I don't know about that one, but maybe one of the secondary receivers, but maybe not paying up for Bryant here for me at least. But I'm definitely looking at Prescott and of course the boy Elliott.
I think they love Dez Bryant this week. I think they love Ezekiel Elliott, as I do too. I think Ezekiel Elliott is a really, really great play. I think it's a solid pivot for any line that I don't have Shady in. Whatever I don't have Shady, I think I'm probably gonna have some Ezekiel Elliott here. Love him. We saw what Hyde was able to do against the Rams. You know, we've seen the Rams be susceptible to giving up big gashes in the run game. So I kind of like Ezekiel Elliott here. I don't have the same love for Dak Prescott that you have. I think he can be in a solid spot. I think this is a time of possession game. I think the Cowboys really want to hold on to the ball, and they do that with punishing, bruising runs with Ezekiel Elliott, and that puts the Cowboy defense in play for me. Jared Goff is still a young quarterback. The heart and soul of this offense is still the running game, which I think the Cowboys keeping the ball away from Gurley, running the ball as well as they can do with Ezekiel Elliott could be beneficial. So I kind of like the Cowboys defense here, and you look how cheap they are, man. 2.5. Nobody's gonna want to play them, of course, in the 48.5 total. So I definitely think I'm gonna have some exposure to where I have Ezekiel Elliott. I'm gonna have a Cowboys defense where I have Ezekiel Elliott, because if I like Zeke that much, that's saying that I like them to hold on to the ball, and I'm going to have some exposure to the Cowboy defense. On the other side, Gurley, of course, is in play. Priced down a little bit, less than Ezekiel Elliott at 7.8 on DraftKings. You get Sammy Watkins back at 5.9. I just don't love the Rams to go to Dallas and play as well as they have been playing. So as a Giants fan, it pains me to say this, but I kind of like some Cowboys this week, and I think I'm going to have a fair amount of exposure to them.
Okay, yeah.
Next game we got is going to be the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. You got Marcus Mariota, man, priced at 6.4 in a really solid matchup, so to speak, on paper. And then you got Deshaun Watson, Deshaun the Chalk Watson. Yo, find me somebody who doesn't love Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins as a stack. Like, find somebody who doesn't love it. I don't, but everybody's been talking about this all week. What do you think?
That could be because they highly publicized the charity deed he did for those women in the I guess they got displaced by the hurricane,
right?
And that was a good thing. I love to see stuff like that. But obviously I think that he could have a tough time here. I mean, Dick LeBeau is known for kind of doing the dirty to rookie quarterbacks. So he's improving. I'm rooting for him. But as far as him having a good game, I'm not quite sure that's going to happen. I think Murray on the other side is going to have a really strong game here, along with Mariota. Murray. Last week we thought that Henry would get all the carries.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Everyone was talking about how Henry's, and then all of a sudden Murray comes out of nowhere. So I mean, I look for Murray. I mean, he didn't do that once. I mean, this is going to be a thing going forward as long as he stays healthy, obviously. So if you look at the matchups here, I mean, Tennessee, the defense surprisingly has been like I said, a bit stingy.
Right.
To some positions. So, and on the other side, I mean, Tennessee, they've got some good matchups as far as the quarterback position. I think Mariota is going to do well. So, I mean, this game, I think for some reason I see Watson kind of, not having a good time. Although if you look at the matchups, it's a plus matchup for him. But as far as for some reason, I just think that I've been hearing a lot about Dick LeBeau and how he likes to handle these rookie quarterbacks. So I think the beat writers got to me on this one. So maybe they've convinced me. So but yeah, I don't think there's a need to play Watson in my opinion. But I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will. But I mean, this is still a solid game, I think, for Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm agree with you, man. Right outside of my 6 shooter, man, I had 6 quarterbacks that I really like, and right outside of that, Marcus Mariota fell to right outside of my top 6 quarterbacks. I really like Mariota this week, and it's again because of what he can do outside of the pocket and extending plays, using his legs to get the ball down the field. And the one thing that kind of bothers me is what's going on with Delaney Walker, with the death threats and all of that, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Don't want those things to affect the guy. I know you're not supposed to be, you can't read that deep into this stuff, but you have to at some point. You look at DeMarco Murray and how Houston is not that bad against the run. But he had an awesome game last week. He's only priced at $6K. This is going to be one of the cheaper stacks that you get at very low ownership. So I do like some of the Tennessee guys. But with Watson, man, I'm gonna have a share of Watson, and
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because this dude is cheaper. He's cheaper than Kaiser.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna have a share of Watson just for the simple fact that he is going to be the chalk, and I don't want to get completely left behind if he goes off. But and then
Yeah.
Will Fuller coming back, I think, means something to this at 3.8. Then you've
Oh
got, of
yeah.
course,
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Hopkins. Most people that have Deshaun Watson are going to pair him with DeAndre Hopkins here. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this shakes out. And it is a 44-point total with only a 2.5 in terms of differential. So could be a very, very, very good game. Could be a very good game. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. We've got a 42.5-point total here with the Minnesota Vikings giving up 2 points at the crib, man. We're in the Superdome. We're in a dome. We got Case Keenum. We've got Matt Stafford. I hate playing anybody against the Minnesota Vikings defense. Like, am I stuck in last year? Can we play Detroit guys against them, or is this still like the thing? Because Dalvin Cook is an awesome runner, one of the guys that I really like a lot in
Mm-hmm.
terms of my running backs. And you know me, whenever I really like a running back, I automatically like the defense. Then I already like the Vikings D already.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford's been good. He's cheap. I think people are going to be on him. This can really separate me. What do you think about this game?
Well, this might be a bit of a defensive battle shaping up. You saw Keenum go off last week. I don't think that's going to happen again. I mean, Detroit has been pretty good at limiting quarterbacks.
That's a bold call. He's not throwing 4 touchdowns this week.
Yeah, that's pretty that's a bold one, right? But no, I mean, like I said, they've been pretty good at limiting quarterback production. So, I think, what, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be afraid to play Stafford against Minnesota. I think that as long as you don't run the ball against Minnesota, I think you're fine. I mean, Xavier Rhodes, we see has not been exactly the kind of guy he's been in years past. Minnesota's been giving up a lot of production to wide receivers. And that was really surprising when I saw that. So I would not be. I mean, Stafford, he's going to throw the ball. He's got capable receivers. He's got Ebron, and I'm also looking at and this. I love cooking this matchup. I think they're going to really try to run the ball here. I mean, you can't count out Diggs or Thielen as well. So I mean, like I said, I just think that this really shapes up as a really great game for Cook, and I can see Minnesota trying to keep the game low and total and score. So, like I said, Detroit has not been bad defensively. They've really been limiting quarterbacks. So I would not play Keenum here, although I'm sure a lot of people will because they'll say, oh, he did that last week. But that was a thing. He was really good against that team. So he had a good history against them. So I just don't see that happening again. But Cook is definitely one of my top plays. And I'm going to be trying to roll him out in most of my lineups.
And now Kenny Golladay is questionable at this point. I think I heard something that said that he's not even going to be playing, and what that does for Marvin Jones, priced at 4K. I mean, that is so hard to ignore, bro. And something that I like is that we have seen the Minnesota offense go out and be able to put up points, which would put the onus on the Detroit side to go out and pass and to put up points as well. Plus, we've seen how bad this team has been at running the football. And we have seen how good the Minnesota Vikings are at stopping the run. So that means that, if the Detroit Lions are going to be in this game or out of this game, they're going to see a lot of pass attempts. So either way, like the game script is set up to have, if you don't want to have Stafford, to at least have some exposures to one of the cheaper receivers on the board. Looking at Marvin Jones in a plus matchup, I'm talking about one of the best matchups on the board at 4K. So Marvin Jones is somebody that I do like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Marvin Jones is going to be lining up against Xavier Rhodes. I see Jeremy Ladd was saying Xavier Rhodes, he shut down Michael Thomas. And, I mean, the passer rating on him, I think Pro Football Focus has been pretty down on him. Like I said, I've seen some of the games. I mean, I've seen all the games, rather, but I haven't been able to focus in on him, on how they're grading him. But he's got a very low score from Pro Football Focus. I saw some stats on him. I mean, obviously he's still a great cornerback. We know that. But for some reason this year, he's not performing at that level. But he's going to be lined up against Marvin Jones anyway. So I'm looking at Golden Tate here to really kind of go off. And don't forget, T.J. Jones might be another guy that might sneak in something.
Okay, all right, wonderful, wonderful. Let's go ahead and check out the next game. We've got the Carolina Panthers right up the street, man, in Charlotte. And I'm not gonna tell you all to play Cam Newton. I'm not gonna say it, even though this is the worst team in the league against the quarterback position, the 32nd ranked, and we've seen quarterbacks go completely turkey ham on the New England Patriots. I'm not gonna tell you to play Cam Newton. I ain't gonna tell you I am. I ain't gonna tell you. Boy, listen, Cam has been bad. Cam has been bad. We got him priced at under 6K, but we got Cam Newton priced under 6K. On the other side, Tom Brady at 8K. What do we think about this game? Look at some of the offensive projections in terms of DVOA. All right, now we've got the Patriots 32nd against quarterbacks, 31st against running backs, 26th against wide receivers. Man, like, are any of the Panthers in play here?
I wouldn't do it personally. I wouldn't do it. I mean, the numbers are really Cam. I mean, he doesn't look the same. I mean, I don't know if it's due to. I mean, I know that he has a couple of nagging injuries he's dealing with. I mean, everyone is in an NFL, but I mean, a lot of people are expecting a shootout here, and I'm just not so sure about that. I think the Patriots defense has been bad, yes, but I mean, the Panthers' offense has looked even worse, you know, with Cam. I mean, and he has what? He only has. I mean, they're missing definitely Ted Ginn Jr. That might be a thing as far as what they're missing. I mean, Kelvin Benjamin is probably still a little dinged up. I really see the Patriots kind of showing up here defensively. So I know I would not play Cam, even though if you look at the stats, this is like the absolute best matchup out of any quarterbacks. But I'm not going to do that. But however, I would play McCaffrey though. McCaffrey has a good matchup here, and you know they've been getting him the ball, pretty easily. So I can see McCaffrey doing well here. On the other side, I would definitely be looking at. I mean, obviously you can't ever count out Tom Brady. I mean, he's been in tough matchups, every week, and he's still throwing for 4 and 5 touchdowns. So, not sure if he's going to do that here or if he'll need to. So this might be a Gillislee game. So you can always look at Tom Brady, obviously, Gronk as well, and obviously I just think they're going to control this game so much so where Carolina just won't be able to do much at all.
Now I'm a multiple entry guy. I'm not a max entry guy. I'm a multiple lineup guy, and I am going to have some exposure to Tom Brady as much as I did last week. Out of the 32 lines I had, I'm going to have him in 3, right? Mm-hmm. Cam, I'm going to have him in 1. I don't want like a ton of exposure to the quarterbacks in this game. If I do like people, it's guys like Christian McCaffrey is a guy that I like. I wish Devin Funchess wasn't priced up to 5.3. That's just too much. It's like they priced him up after Kelvin Benjamin got hurt, and Kelvin Benjamin is back. 700 should not separate Kelvin Benjamin from Devin Funchess. You know what I'm saying? You look on the other side, Brandon Cooks at 7.6 is a guy that I'm looking at. Rob Gronkowski, man, 6.6. The price is up at the tight end spot, and I'm a guy that likes to be cheap, likes to be frugal at the tight end spot. But if I got Tom Brady, man, I'm gonna pair him with Rob Gronkowski. It's only right, and it makes sense. And if I'm playing Tom Brady at all, I'm playing 2 or 3 other pieces from it because I'm playing him because I think he's gonna throw a bunch of touchdowns. You know what I mean? Yeah. So right. So those are to be the guys that I like the most, and it's a 49-point total, bro, with the New England Patriots giving up 9 points. So if you're looking at roster on any side, I would say play as many Patriots as you wanted to against the Carolina Panthers defense. So next game we got is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. 38-point total. I think this is the lowest point total on the slate, and it's for 2 reasons. Number one, the Jacksonville Jaguars have been a formidable defense so far throughout the season. Number 2, the Jets just plain suck. The Jets just plain, I mean, they are horrible, bro. I want let me unhit Bilal Powell. I'm not gonna do that. Yo, he's another guy like Bilal Powell, Crowell. with this other guy this week. Like these are the chalky guys. The guy from Arizona, Kerwin Williams. Like all of these dudes do nothing. They destroy you.
Hmm.
Javorius Allen. You know, what do you look at? What do you think about when you play Bilal Powell? Do you like him this week? Are you gonna have exposure? What's your thoughts on Bilal Powell here?
Well, I mean, Powell. I mean, like you said, a lot of people are talking about him. I don't know if I can quite hit that button on him. So, I mean, I'm really looking at this game to be sort of a defensive struggle. I mean, last week we saw the Jets put a lot of hits in on Cutler. I mean, they're not some pushover either, and they could force Bortles into some interceptions. But I mean, if you look at the matchup here, I mean, the Jets are just giving up points across the board, production to almost every position. So obviously Jacksonville is not that good. We saw them last week just destroy Baltimore in London.
Right.
Can it happen again? Can they go to the Jets and do this? So I think Fournette is in play for me here. I think he could get busy along with Hearns catching some balls. I kind of see this game as being a bit tight. I can see the Jets defense coming through with a pick six. Bortles is always good for one of those every few games. So, I mean, and then as far as Powell goes, I just can't hit him. I just can't hit it on him. But as far as Coarse, I think McCown can, he can sneak some balls into Coarse. He might get in for a garbage time touchdown. But obviously, the Jets just won't be able to do much here, I believe. I mean, if you look at the matchups, it's just as negative as it can get across the board. So as far as playing the Jets, you don't have to, and I wouldn't.
A couple of guys that I like, okay? First things first, in terms of Jacksonville, I'm going to always talk about the correlation. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Oh, cool. Man, I like Leonard Fournette. Okay, well, I got them motherfuckers everywhere. I think that's one of the most perfect correlations on the slate. You've got Fournette and the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. I love them in this spot. Also, I'm looking at Allen Hurns here at 4.7. Without AR-15, you got Marquise Lee, you've got Keelan Cole, Allen Hurns, Aurelius Ben. Not a ton of great receivers here. And another guy that a lot of people aren't really paying attention to went ham the other day in London, man. Mercedes Lewis, man, only at 2.8 is the price on him. And we've seen the Jets struggle against a tight end spot. So does this mean that I love Blake Bortles? No, it means that I can have a piece of the pass catching, but I'm also going to have a major piece of the run game here with Leonard Fournette. On the other side, y'all can play Bilal Powell. I'm not on him. I don't really love him. I don't really want to play anything from the Jets. They're just a bad team, a bad offense. The homie Reese Wilson says Jack's defense is the play on the slate. The homie D-Dubs 124 says they should move the Jets into college football, but they would still have a bad record. And another quick question too, man. I'm gonna pose this question to you. One of the homies in the YouTube asked, so what do you think about playing Pat's wide receivers?
Well, I think against the Panthers, I mean, obviously Brandon Cooks, he's just such a great talent. If you're going to play Brady, you can definitely pair him with him. I mean, you look at the correlations between quarterback and wide receiver. That's the best stack you can get. So if you're going to play Tom Brady, play him or Hogan. I mean, you look at the targets that they're both getting. I mean, and then Cooks is getting the he's definitely getting the targets there. So yeah, I would go Cooks and Brady if you're gonna play Brady. With that,
now you look at Marquise Lee, man, 24 targets leading the team. He hasn't caught a touchdown yet.
Oh wait a minute, I thought you. Are we talking about?
No. You talk about the Patriots. I was just looking forward.
Oh, okay.
I was just looking forward.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But he's 50% completion percentage, man. I don't like that, bro. And you look at Allen Hurns. The reason why Allen Hurns has been able to turn his stuff into touchdowns because he's catching 85% of the balls thrown his way. You know what I mean? Marquise Lee is a burner, bro, but he just doesn't hold on to it, man.
I would definitely be looking at Hurns here. I mean, and I know some people are mentioning Austin Seferian Jenkins. To be honest with you, this is a good matchup for him. I mean, if that's one position that you can get the Jaguars at, this is one. And we know Josh McCown. If he's under pressure, he's definitely going to try to get it to his tight end.
Most
If he's
certainly.
not, yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Jenkins is a good play. I mean, I don't know, is he pretty expensive?
No,
Uh,
he's 3K on
3K.
DraftKings.
Oh yeah, do it,
Yeah.
do it,
Very cool.
man.
Next game we got, it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. 6.5 point differential here in a 44.5 point total. You got Brian Hoyer, who went ham the other Monday and kind of stunk it up prior to that. You got Carson Palmer, who's been trending upward. Just took that loss to the Dallas Cowboys. 6.1 for him. And then you got Andre Ellington, man, a guy at 3.8 that I think Andre Ellington should be chalk, but he's not because people are being fooled with Buck Allen. And yo, this dude is 3.8, bro. And the 49ers blow against the run. I want to take a look at this. I want to see because this is the way we can look at this. This is exclusive to RotoQL, man. Please don't kill me, Justin Park, for showing this. This is something that I love. I love to show this, man. We look at fantasy points allowed to the running back spot. All right, and you're gonna see, bro. Where they at? Where they at? Because they have the 49ers. Where they at? Where they at? Well, you talk about something while I show this.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, as far as this game goes, I mean, the Cardinals haven't been that good. I mean, it's hard to trust Palmer at this point. I mean, but if you look at the matchup and if you look across the board, I mean, he has a lot of things in his favor to actually, if he's going to come through in a matchup, this could be one against the 49ers, who we just saw get lit up last Thursday. So, I have a hard time trusting Palmer, but I know a lot of it makes sense to do it if you're going to do it. I mean, they're giving up 49ers giving up just fantasy production to everyone except the tight end. So for me, if I did go with Palmer, I would pair him with Fitz. I think Fitz is in line for a good game if it actually flows that way. Ellington, he could. I mean, he's good. He's priced really well. He's going to get opportunity. So,
I like him. They're the worst team in the league against the worst defense in the league against the run, giving up an average of 28.77 DraftKings points to the position. Man, that's me right there. I love that. 3.8. Okay. I can pay up to what I want. I love absolutely love the homie this week, man. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. He's my Travis Benjamin. He is my C.J. Anderson from the week before that. I love him in this spot, bro. A guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield, make a guy miss, turn up the field. I like him. Of course, Larry Fitzgerald, like you said, 6.1, going to be a solid play. Yo, the fact that I like Ellington and I like Fitzgerald some means that I really like Carson Palmer. 6.1 for him. Carson Palmer is one of my favorite quarterbacks on the slate. You look at the San Francisco 49ers, the defense is bad, man. They're traveling to Arizona. I think this is going to be one of the better plays on the slate for me, especially in a 44.5 point total. And you could even see, one of the higher scoring games of the season wasn't it San Fran and the Rams?
Yeah, last Thursday.
So they give it up, bro. They give it up. But they can also score some too. So Pierre Garçon, let's go take a look at him. I want to show you something about the homie Pierre Garçon, because if we look at the 49ers here, dude is like 26 targets for him. Okay, 26 targets for Pierre Garçon and no touchdowns. Excuse me, 27 targets, no touchdowns. 59.26 completion percentage. The guy is a library book. He is due. He is due for a touch. Actually, look, all of these motherfuckers due for a touch. The only one that caught one was Trent Taylor. But Pierre Garçon, bro, he's due, in my opinion. He's due for a touchdown. I kind of like him a lot this week. So in my Arizona stack, I'm going, Carson Palmer, Andre Ellington, Larry Fitzgerald, and immediately on the other side, bam, I'm rocking Pierre Garçon, and I still have enough money to pay up for whatever else I want.
Yeah, but I think we have to watch out here because if Carlos Hyde, I know they're saying he should play, but I'm also seeing him as a game time decision. So if he doesn't play, I think that might make things a little bit difficult for the 49ers.
Now, does that put the defense in play?
If Hyde doesn't play, yeah, because I think if you look at what Hyde has been doing, I mean he's been a bell cow. He's been racking up the touches, even getting some red zone targets as well. I mean I look at how I have these running backs rated. He just basically checks all the boxes, and he's been very effective. So he's a big part of the offense. So if he doesn't play, which I mean I'm hoping he plays, but if he doesn't play, as far as going Garcon or any other part of that offense, I'm not sure if I would do it.
Now, and what we're seeing on him was Kyle Shanahan said that Hyde, who's dealing with a hip issue, is going to be a game time decision. So you're definitely going to want to keep tabs on that and make sure you've got all the information that you need going into that 49er game with the Arizona Cardinals. There, make sure you know what's happening with that one. So pretty good stuff, man. Next game we got one of my favorite games on the slate. Is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Chargers. 24.8 point total for the Chargers and a 22.8 for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a 47.5 point total, bro. And why are you wearing this Eagles shirt on the show? Like, are you? Are you trying to drop something, a hint, a little something on us, man? What's going on, bro?
Oh, it just happened to work out this way. But no, I'm not. Actually, I think they're gonna have a tough time this week. I don't know. I mean, they've lost Sproles for the year. Fletcher Cox, their elite linebacker, is out, and several other of their cornerbacks are banged up. They got to fly all the way over to Los Angeles, and we know how that goes. So the Chargers are fully healthy. I mean, you talk about somebody due for something. I think the Chargers are due for a win here, and I think they finally get one. I think they're going to limit Carson Wentz a bit, and I mean because his target. I mean his weapons are just with him losing, like I said, Sproles, and I can see Jeffrey being the main beneficiary of this. I think his targets. I mean he's already getting targets as it is. I think he's going to lock on to him like Jay Cutler locking on to Landry. So I'm definitely, to be honest with you, I think Wentz will be limited here, but I think Jeffrey could be a good play here. I think this guy it might be a lock for me almost. If anybody's going to do something from that team, I'm thinking Jeffrey. And on the other side, I do like Rivers, and I think Gordon has an excellent matchup here. I'm looking at Gordon and also Keenan Allen as being a really good play as well. I mean, he's a great play actually.
so in other words, stack them up.
Yep.
Stack up the Chargers. Yeah. So now tell me what do you think about Gordon's injury? I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to know what do you think about the injury to his knee, and because they're saying he's going to play. What do you think about that?
Right. Yeah, and we've seen how certain injuries affect players. The knee injury. From what I'm understanding, there's like a possibly a 10% drop off in fantasy production. So if he's going to play, I think he's going to stay through the game. I don't think he gets that far if he's not ready to go. So so you might not see. I don't know. It's tough, but I mean, and historically speaking, you have seen. There have been some people like the Chris Raybon who've done studies, and the knee injury I think causes about a 10% drop off in fantasy production. But
shout out to Chris Raybon. That's my dude, man.
Yeah, I like Chris. Yeah,
Chris Raybon, TJ Hernandez. Shout out to them cats, man. Love them dudes, man. They're my dudes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So but I still think this is a good matchup. And a lot of people were mentioning Ertz. Yeah, how could I forget Ertz? I mean, he's definitely going to get his targets here. So I mean, yeah. So I meant actually Ertz and Jeffrey being the main guys here, but I still think the Chargers get the win here. I think they're going to limit Carson Wentz a bit here. So, and I think they get their first win here.
Most def. We've been agreeing, bro, and that's just what it is, man. I am on Phillip Rivers. I got a little bit scared with the Melvin Gordon injury, but after doing a little bit more research and talking about it. I'm kind of back on to Melvin Gordon here, but what it did do was it helped me to make some pretty good stacks. The ones with Phillip Rivers, Travis Benjamin, who I absolutely love again this week, with Keenan Allen, kind of getting hold to all of the pass catchers because that's where you can kill the Eagles in pass protection. I mean, excuse me, in the passing game. You look at Rivers here. You got Allen. You got Travis Benjamin, who I think has supplanted Tyrell Williams as the number 2 receiver. Even Hunter Henry at 3.5 is a guy that I like more than Antonio Gates at 2.9. On the other side, that would be the weak part of my stack where I would grab, say Zach Ertz or maybe some Alshon Jeffrey here. But a lot of people, they started the week. Okay, as soon as the low man got hurt, everybody was like, oh my God, Wendell Smallwood's going to be a good play. And then the very next day, you didn't hear anything else about him. Like, nobody else said anything about Wendell Smallwood. It all went to Buck Allen. It all went to, and I thought about that. I'm like, yo, this dude is like the cheapest of all of them. Like him and, due to injury, him and Ellington, 3.8, 4.1. I'm going to play Wendell Smallwood this week. I'm going to have some Smallwood. I like him as a, because I like him. I think he's a solid play in the spot, man. Very similar running style to the homie who got injured. So I like Smallwood here. Don't love Carson Wentz a lot. Of course, Zach Ertz. He's only 300 cheaper than Gronk, and I'm thinking I'm gonna find 300. Yeah, I'm gonna find 300. If I'm paying 6.3 for Zach Ertz, I'm just gonna find 300 from somewhere, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab Gronk. So that's my take on that spot. But this is a very interesting game, and I need the Chargers to beat the Eagles so that they don't run away with the division. 47.5 point total here should be a good one. Next game we got is my New York Football Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully, baby, this is our first win of the season. Dude kicked a 69 million yard field goal to beat us last week. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. We got Jameis Winston 5.9, Eli Manning 5.7. Both of these quarterbacks fairly cheap. The matchup doesn't seem that great on the Tampa Bay side. Eli matchup, you know that Eli is not what he should be without a running game. And that's something that the Giants just have not been able to do so far this season. What do you think about him and Odell Beckham? Sterling Sharp, I think, Sterling Shepard being a guy that I think people are going to want to gravitate toward. And you look, of course, at Jameis Winston with Deshaun Jackson.
Here, possibly. So I'm thinking maybe that's why it's only 45. I think if it was dry, this would have just this game would be crazy, man. But as it is, there's going to be a bit of rain, obviously. It's gonna make the game kind of go to possibly. It's going to slow it down a little bit. I can still see guys like ODB doing well. He was like to be honest with you, I was looking at really just having him almost 100% across my lineups. But with this rain issue, I'm thinking that I might hold off a bit. I just hold back on that. But it's still a good matchup for him. I think Shepard can do well. I think on the other side, Winston is going to be limited here, or he should be limited. The Giants have been really good on defense. So the Bucs, I don't think the Bucs defensive line can take advantage of the Giants' bad offensive lines. So you're going to see a very good defensive game from the Giants. And I just am not really on any Tampa Bay Bucs here. Possibly Evans. Rodgers. If you look at the matchup, it might be solid for him, but for me, he just doesn't get the touches. Even though he's at home, he just doesn't get the touches that I need. So if the rain is affecting the game, maybe they run him more. So we'll see. But this game is a bit of a question mark because it might turn into more of a running game than how I originally thought it was when I looked at it earlier. So have you seen that rain concern as well, Mo?
Oh, certainly. And this is horrible, right? Because I'm a Giants fan. Look at this is crap, okay? You look at red zone rushing attempts by my New York Football Giants, bro. As a team, we have 7.
Not much.
Inside the 20, we've been able to run the ball 7 times. That is horrible.
That's bad.
And when you think about weather and the concerns that lie in that, you want to get some of the running game. You know that this is going to be a game where they're not going to be slinging it all around the yard. You're probably going to have to run in some spots, and you look at it and you say, man, you know, the Tampa Bay has not been very great against the run. Neither have the Giants. Tampa Bay, 20th ranked DVP against the run. You've got the Giants 20th, 17th. So all of these running backs in this game are bad. Like there's no good. So
right,
and they're all cheap though. So somebody's got to get the touches. It's going to be Paul Perkins at 3.5. You're going to see some Shane Vereen. You see Orleans Darkwood. You see Jacquizz Rodgers at 4.4 making some hay. Like if I could find the running back in this game is going to get the touches, I would most certainly play him, bro. I really would, because like you said, the weather concern does leave a lot to be desired. So this is going to be a tough one. Tough one.
And it's a shame because, man, this is like a dream matchup for ODB, man, and Shepard, man. It's like, man. But, I mean, you know, that's how it goes. Hopefully, like I said, the weather concern is there. So, you know, you guys just want to check on that if you guys are planning on rostering Odell Beckham Jr. You don't want to pay that much if he's not going to be heavily involved.
And I can tell you, I was like heavily on Cameron Brate here too, because I ain't no fool, man. The Giants suck. The worst part of our team has always been the linebacker, man. We haven't had good linebackers for quite some time, and that's always resulted in tight ends being able to roam freely up the seam on us. And, you know, Brate being in the spot that he was in, I really liked him. But you look at the weather concerns, man, I'm not sure that I can even get there, bro. I'm not sure I can get there. So let's go ahead. Last game on the slate is the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos here. I'm going to make some big stands on this one, man. Oakland got the ass whooped last time out. Of course, they're going to want to come out and play better. We got a 46-point total. Only a 3-point differential separate these teams. So, and of course, you know, Denver's going to be that home favorite at the crib. So, playing at altitude, you got Trevor Siemian, 5.2, one of my favorite quarterback plays on the slate. I absolutely love C.J. Anderson here today. Absolutely love him. I like the Broncos' defense against the Raiders. I know it sounds crazy. I love the Broncos' defense against the Raiders. This is what I think the Broncos can win it all. Like I really do think they can win it all, bro. I really like them here. And then you've got, of course, Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, and again, Demaryius Thomas is one of those cats, man. 26 targets, no touchdowns. He is a library book. He is due this week. I'm going to have some exposure. I'm going to run down that list, too. You got Jarvis Landry with 25, Julio Jones, 26, Demaryius Thomas, 26, Adam Thielen, 26, and Pierre Garçon, 27. And that's targets without a touchdown. I like Demaryius Thomas this week. I like Denver Broncos as a stack. What do you think?
Yeah. I think Denver here, I mean, you look at the how it's shaping up for them. I mean, this is shaping up really to be a great game for Siemian, Anderson, and Sanders. In fact, Sanders is one of my top plays here. I mean, Oakland, you know, we saw what they did last Sunday night at Washington. It was not good. Possibly they've been exposed, and I think they're going to be limited here again. Obviously, the Broncos' defense is and they're at home. You're going to see the best come out of them here. So I'm really thinking I'm not much on Oakland. I think I'm looking more at I mean, if anyone in Oakland, I was thinking Crabtree, but now I think he's been downgraded to doubtful.
Yeah, he's doubtful.
So,
he's doubtful.
Yeah, he's doubtful. So I'm not looking to even at him. So I mean, Cook possibly. I don't know. I mean, Denver is bad against the tight end. So possibly Cook. So I mean, but as far as the Denver, they're just gonna dominate this game, I believe. I mean, they've been the Broncos' run defense has been good enough to stop Marshawn Lynch, and we see Marshawn Lynch has just not even been involved.
A factor, bro. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for all this talk we heard about how, you know, he was going to be more involved with the offense, it just hasn't materialized. So, you know, so yeah, if anyone from Oakland, possibly Cook, you know, I mean, somebody, I mean, you got to know they got to put up a few points and get across and get you know, in the red zone at least once. So, so maybe Cook, but yeah, I'm all over Siemian, Anderson, and Sanders here. I think this is a great play.
Wonderful. Well, and before we go, bro, give me two sleeper plays. I'm talking about value under 4K. guys that you found yourself them just being in your roster bills for some reason or another. Give me 2 guys under 4K that you really like.
Well, did we go over the Indianapolis and Seattle game yet? Or are you not doing? Oh, wait a minute, that game is not included in DraftKings.
Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? Yo, I want y'all to peep this. I want y'all to peep game on this. All right, think about this, and you're gonna have to go with me for a second. All right. So the less amount of games we have, that means the less stack options. Taking those 2 teams off, that's a fewer amount of stack options. They know we're doing this. The Sharks know how we're building our rosters, and it wouldn't be a surprise to me if they go to DraftKings and was like, nah, man, take one of them games off. Because now you hear all of their podcasts and like, hey, we're so mad they took all the games off, and we know every new rule that DraftKings or FanDuel makes, they make them to cater to the Sharks because that's how they get their 10% rake. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's something to be like aware of, bro. So you're gonna see by taking those 2 games off, that's a lot less bases that the Sharks have to cover. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they don't have to, because really the way we've been killing them in football is, there's a lot of games, bro. It's not like on MLB where you're gonna have nights where not all the team plays. Usually in NFL, like throughout a week, every team is gonna play through a slate. You go Thursday through Monday, that's every team that's gonna play, and that gives us the opportunity to roster more than they can. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So taking that game, bro, it was strategic and it was in their favor. But guess what? They can't stop us, man, because we do it from the heart and we do it well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, but I mean, and that was a really great matchup there, man, for Russell Wilson, and he was one of the plays that I was gonna make there, but yeah, we can't talk about that game,
right?
But as far as my sleeper plays go, I think. And we have already talked about this. I think Mixon is going to really do well here against Cleveland. I know he may not be a super sleeper, but plays on him. And here I'm going to make this bold call, and this might be. Oh well, I can't do that either because, like I said, that was I had this prepared. I thought T.Y. Hilton was going to be a great play, so that was going to be one of my absolute sleepers there. So maybe if you guys are playing FanDuel like me, you might want to look at T.Y. Hilton. But I mean, like you said, Ellington is I don't know if he's. I mean, people are talking about Ellington a bit as well. He's a good value play. Rashard Matthews possibly. That's another guy I'm looking at that might be a good play and a good value play rather. And what else? What else did I have here?
Well, if you're playing a 9:30 slate, it's for me. Alvin Kamara is a guy that I really like in London. I love that. If we look at those London games, those games are sent over there to showcase offense because those are the bad defensive teams they send over there. Those games are sent over there to showcase offense, catching, scoring, big hits, big runs. That's what they want them to see. You got Jay Ajayi going to the crib. He is from London. And I love Alvin Kamara. On the main slate, you kind of alluded to it. I do like Ellington, but I can tell you Travis Benjamin is a guy that I really love under 4K at 3.9 on DraftKings. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. This is going to be a good one. We are going to have a really nice week. Really nice week. Really nice week.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, let's see. I think that about does it.
Well, for yours truly, the DFS Jerusalem, thanking you again for 1 year of rocking with the homie, man. Thank y'all so much for that. And the big homie, the Iceman, Ronald Ice Coley. Anything you want to say before we sign off, big bruh?
No, just let's do well again this week. I mean, this is going to be week 4, so we are the stats are going to get more stabilized, and we can depend on the data more coming up pretty soon. So yeah, let's do well this week, and hope everyone has a profitable Sunday.
And we're about to go behind the curtain, bro. We're going to be building our lineups to roll out. So if you wanted to be a part of that, man, hurry up, man. Go to the website. It's www.dfssweatshop.com. And we don't just make lineups and we don't just give away lineups. We teach you how to build your own, bro. We teach you step-by-step roster construction, man. Solid shit. Very great stuff. So go to the website, www.dfssweatshop.com. We are going behind the curtain. Much love to you. We love you. Yo, keep it real, keep it honest, and always